What's going on, people, and welcome back to another Good Morning Tottenham. It's Tuesday morning and we've still got smiles on our faces from the weekend, from that brilliant 1-0 win over Manchester City. There's a few bits and pieces to get through today, but Sim, how you doing today?
Doing all right. Looking forward to a big week in the transfer window. We have to get some answers surely this week. We have to get some sort of indication of how this window is going to look.
I don't think we will.
We have to because
I think next week we'll get it.
No, we have to because we're either making signings or we're not. And we can't all do our business in 1 week. It's not possible. And we have to give ourselves some time to spend the money if we're going to sell Harry Kane. So we're going to have to get some indication. If we're not going to have time to spend it, then whatever fee we get for Kane is going to be irrelevant because we're not going to be able to spend it. So there'll be no point getting the money in if we can't spend the money. What use is the money?
Audio is lagging apparently.
Audio
lagging keeps cutting out. People are saying.
Okay, should we try?
This is fine, it seems.
Says it's fine? No, it seems right to me. Anyway,
literally everyone's saying it, though, in the comments. Audio is fine.
Some people say it's fine, but some people don't.
All right, it's fine. We'll keep going. All right, everyone just refresh your stream and it's going to be completely fine.
Thank you to our lovely commenters. Love you
guys.
Yeah,
exactly. We love you all out there. The We Are Tottenham TV army are completely very strong here. But look, let's...
Second, it was a concerted effort to try and make us think there was lagging. Everyone's just spamming the lag and then everyone then gets us confused. Good one, guys. Good one.
Let's start off with the latest on Dusan Vlahovic of Fiorentina. Fiorentina publication was tweeting out last night that Tottenham have offered 70 million euros for both Vlahovic and Milenkovic. Fiorentina wants 70 million for Vlahovic and 15 million for Milenkovic, but understand those valuations are ambitious.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a good deal if we were able to get that. Obviously, this would, spending that amount of money. Again, we're not going to spend that money without selling Harry Kane. I've said that a million times. That sort of money, I can see us spending 20 million on Tomiyasu or something. We're not going to spend whatever it is, 70, 80, 90 million euros without getting some serious cash in. That's just the nature. That's just reality. You've got to be honest with that. Mm-hmm. So as much as I would be happy with that deal, it depends on one thing. And that's either selling, getting decent money for Aurier, Sissoko and whatever, or selling Kane.
Yeah, I think it rests on selling Harry Kane. I don't think we bring in a Vlahovic if we sell if we keep Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't see it, to be honest. It's just too much money. Just too much money. And the same with the Lautaro Martinez thing. But there's like a few more updates on Vlahovic, and Di Marzio last night was saying that Vlahovic and Fiorentina have completely halted contract talks now. There is an enormous gap between the two parties. Neither know how to move forward in the negotiations. Tottenham are willing to speak to the player and Fiorentina. So
they've probably got wind. He's probably got Vlahovic has got wind of how much we could probably offer him, and he's probably using that in negotiation for a contract. He's saying, "Look, this is how much a big offer Tottenham. Are you going to match that?" And they're like, "We can't match that." And so he's really saying, "I'm not going to sign a contract." It's pretty simple.
Is 70 million, or even 60 million, or even 50 million? Is that not too much for someone who's just had one good season in his career?
It is, but unfortunately, there's not many good strikers out there. And if we're going to replace Harry Kane, they can hold us to ransom. Unfortunately, what we're going to do, just sell Kane and not get a striker. We need to get someone in. And unfortunately, in this day and age, one good season is enough to convince a lot of clubs. I think a few years ago, you would have said, "Oh, you want to see him another year." Then big money, but I think clubs want to get in there early now. It's all about getting in there as soon as possible before his price rises even higher. And I think that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, in this day and age. So yes, we're overpaying, but if we really believe he's that good, then that's something you have to do.
How much of a risk is Vlahovic?
It's any striker from a foreign league who's especially only had one good season. Soldado had 5 seasons where he scored 20 plus goals in La Liga, and he came and he was awful. So it's only so much surety you can get. Fernando Torres was classed in the Premier League, signed for Chelsea 50 million, didn't even have an injury, just completely lost it.
Yeah.
Completely gone. So, like, even him in the Premier League, killing it for a top club, signs for another top club for big money, and all of a sudden he's lost his mojo. So, it's obviously going to be a risk, but I think he's got the qualities. You look at his profile, he's definitely got the qualities to be a success in the Premier League. He's physical, he's strong, he's got decent hold-up play, and he's obviously got a lethal finish on that left foot. So, I mean, you have to take a gamble on someone, and seeing as he's young, if we sign him for 50, 70 million euros, say, if he does have it depends how bad of a season he has, but if he does have a bad season, still got a bit of value because of his age that you can get money for him. So I guess that from that sense, the risk isn't as high as maybe with an older striker.
Sai says, if Vlahovic signs, I will go to the crappy Conference League game next Thursday. Will you be putting your money where your mouth is, saying you'll go to the Conference League?
I'm not bothered. I told you I'm not bothered about this Conference League.
Not even if we sign Vlahovic.
No.
We got a new member, Arnie Anderson. Welcome to Gold and welcome to the We Are Tottenham family, my friend. Interesting that Correa dello Sport, with their update, was it last night or this morning, saying that Vlahovic to Atletico Madrid is now a completely done deal.
That was this morning. They said there is an agreement with the Spanish club, 70 million euros. They've given the green light. The Viola are preparing for Vlahovic to exit today. They seem pretty adamant that this one is going to go through. I could read the article, but it's like being translated from Italian, so it's not like the best English. It just says, Atletico decides everything because the agreement between Fiorentina and Atletico for the signing of Vlahovic to Atletico has been found. Conditional always must in the face of such a complex negotiation that opens completely new scenarios. But the weekend, together with the Monday just past, seem to have addressed the negotiation so far remained above all at the level of direct interaction between the Spanish club and Darko Ristic, the agent of Vlahovic. The fundamental, discriminating and resolving passage. Wow, I don't think if it was written in English, this would be how it was written. But it says the one between the two companies.
All paths lead down the yellow brick road, people.
The one between the two companies was missing, and now it remains to be seen if we will soon move on to certainties in numbers and concrete facts. So yeah, seems as though I think it's saying Vlahovic is going to Atletico.
It does say that, but do you think that this could be something that's being put in the press by Fiorentina to push the price up?
Definitely could be. Or just make Tottenham panic a bit and stump up the cash as quickly as possible. Here's Damasio's literally 10 seconds ago. The presence in Italy or president of Fiorentina, it is, however, important to try and understand the future of Vlahovic. So he said something about Vlahovic. He's just released an article. I don't know.
These Damasio updates are so hard in Italian.
The president of Fiorentina has just arrived in the airport and will go to Marina del Giosso. I don't know where that is. For a few days for relaxation. Okay, whatever.
Oh, that's great news, isn't it?
On Sunday, then he will be in the stands of the Olimpico to follow the match between Roma and Fiorentina, and then we'll go to Florence. At the moment, there is no confrontation with Vlahovic planned after negotiation for renewal for the attacker stalled. So he's saying the contract stalled, which he said yesterday. The presence of Commisso in Italy is, however, an important signal that in the next few days it will be understood what the future of the Serbian striker will be. He's sought after by Atletico Madrid, around with the football. He didn't even mention Tottenham. Just said Atletico, around which the football market revolves. So he's saying he's going to try again to kind of offer him a contract, I think. I guess we'll understand this week what the future of Vlahovic looks like.
All right, well, that's the kind of Vlahovic update. Nothing really... I mean, I don't know. It could be true, could not be true. I mean, Damasio's only talking about Atletico Madrid now. Correa dello Sport said that Atletico Madrid and Vlahovic is a done deal, but that doesn't seem like the case. It seems as though...
Looks like he's rejecting a contract, that's for sure.
Yeah. It seems as though these striking options are kind of seeping away from us at the moment in terms of Martinez, Vlahovic.
Yeah.
And on the flip side now, let's talk about Harry Kane. Because time does seem to be running out for Harry Kane, because we need to get these striker targets in if he's going to be enabled to leave. That's got to be the case, right? And Sammy Mockbell of the Daily Mail says that Man City officials are ready to tell Tottenham Hotspur that they are unlikely to renew their efforts to sign Harry Kane next summer if they fail this month. Man City believe they will get the full value out of the move this window. And then this is from Jay Burt from The Telegraph, and he says Harry Kane remains determined to secure a move to Man City this summer, but has also informed Tottenham Hotspur that he is available to play and has no intentions of refusing to cooperate because he understands a deal might not be struck.
Which is the important thing. I think he's done his bit to try and force the move. I believe that was what happened pretty much earlier. And now that's happened, and it kind of, well, it hasn't worked, let's be honest. It hasn't lowered the price, hasn't really done much for the deal. He's just made his intentions clear. But if the deal's not going to go through, I'm sure he'll come back. And that's until he's going to be reintegrated. I'm sure he's going to knuckle down. And I think that's, if that's true, that he's going to make himself available, I think that's proof of that. If he's going to be involved, especially in the Conference League.
Do you think he definitely plays this Thursday?
No, it depends. You know, if a deal gets struck tomorrow, then no.
Yeah.
So
as it stands right now.
No, I still don't think he plays. I think we'll make another excuse saying he's still not ready or something.
Do you think if it is as it stands and it's all a bit up in the air, he doesn't play until the end of the transfer window? If he does stay?
No, I think if the deal's not struck by next week, I think he'll be back in the team. Mm-hmm. I think because I don't think there's enough time. We can't. Unless we've got targets in, unless we've signed Martinez and Vlahovic within the next week, I can't see it. I really can't see it. I think it's really unlikely. So I think a Wolves game is touch and go. I think he'll still probably miss it. But the one after that, was it Watford?
Watford is the last one before the window
could make
shuts,
that one. Yeah. That one, I think that could be a statement saying, look, this is the last game before the window. There's not long. What was that? The day before the window shuts.
Yeah.
So I think we could make a statement in that game, playing Kane and saying, look, he's here for the next season, and before the window shuts, we're going to play him. Rob Dawson from ESPN says Man City are still pushing ahead with their bid to sign Kane, despite continued denials from Tottenham that they are prepared to listen to offers for the striker. It's going to rumble on for a bit longer, but I think this week, I've got a good feeling that we're going to really find out what the truth is in terms of this deal's actually going to happen, because it can't drag on for that much longer. It's just not practical. Not practical for Tottenham. It's not practical for us.
I've been saying all along.
It can't be up in the air until. I think it's impossible for it to be up in the air until deadline day. I think it's impossible.
Mm. When you say up in the air, you mean us noticing as a fan base what's actually going on, or actually confirmed news and stuff like that?
I know confirmed news that could be up in the air till the last day. But I'm saying us not knowing if he's staying or going, that can't go on until deadline day. We're going to know within the next week really what's happening, because if we've signed no one by next week, he can't leave. He can't, unless. Like early in the week, we get a flurry of transfers. It's just impossible to get all these players done. When teams are going to know that they're going to hold us to ransom and stuff. Like, it's not going to be possible. So I think that's why we're hearing all this news of Kane maybe accepting that it might not happen and he's going to make himself available and all this stuff. Because I think there's a real chance that the practical elements of the deal just aren't there, unfortunately, this summer or right now. Anyway, If we're in this situation, if we were where we are now a few months ago, then there's plenty of time and this deal could still be done. But it's 2 weeks left of the window. Yeah. Like, I can't. Spurs would be stupid at this point, or in a week's time.
There's a lot going on that we don't know about, because that could really be the case. It could be the case, but
it could be. But where are the signings? Where are the players?
It remains unlikely at this stage. Doesn't
where are the players?
It remains unlikely at this stage, doesn't it? Like, for me. It's 2 weeks now, 2 weeks to the day that the transfer window closes. There's just way too much to do. There's way too much to do. Even, the right-back situation, another centre-back. They're talking about a centre-mid. They're talking about an attacking option as well. And a striker on top of that. I mean, regardless of if Kane stays or goes, there's just way too much to do, isn't there?
Yeah, and I can't see us getting all that business done, to be honest, without Kane going. I really can't. Not effective, not like
Can
good quality.
Can you even see that all that business being done if Kane goes? Because I still think if Kane goes, there's way too much to do.
Yeah, but we'll overpay. We're going to have to overpay. That's what we're going to have to do. And
if we're going to overpay, we're going to get in like half the targets or 2/3 of the targets, you know what I mean? Or maybe even a quarter of the targets.
I don't know.
Getting all of them.
I think we will. For those 4, if we overpay a bit to make sure we get them over the line, I think we can get all 4. If we make sure we get the 150 million definitely confirmed from City, then I think we can get it. I think we can get those targets. I think that's enough time. 2 weeks is enough time. But we need to start moving now. We need to start seeing some action. Otherwise, it will be too late. At least when we sold Bale, I think apart from Lamella, who was very late signing, they were all done fairly early, if I remember rightly. Maybe Eriksen as well was done quite late. But I think all the rest were done really early. So there was, although the public stance was these are all signings to play with Bale, you know, if you were looking objectively, you could see we were gearing up for selling Bale with all these signings.
Yeah.
But now we signed Romero, I guess, but apart from him, we haven't. And even him was a loan at the moment, so we haven't actually spent the money just yet. Even him, there's loan, so we haven't actually spent that much money yet.
We haven't we've spent 25 million.
Yeah,
euros.
so where's the sign? We need to get these signings in.
Because Galini was a loan, Romero was a loan,
and Gil was 20 million plus Lamella.
Yeah.
So we need to see some action quickly. Otherwise, however much Kane wants to move, and even it gets to a stage at some point, even if they do sum up 150 million, we can't sell. It gets to that stage, unfortunately, for Kane. So. Yeah, I mean, Sanchez came up with an interesting quote, I thought, yesterday. He said, Harry is the best number 9. There's no doubt about it. If someone says differently, they do not understand football. I'm his teammate, so I can't get deep on his situation. That's between him and the club. We're just here to support him and be on his side. Which is interesting because that was one, like what he said yesterday. But then he's talking quite nicely about how we're a teammate, we have to be on his side and stuff. But Tanganga, you see, apparently Tanganga retweeted something yesterday.
I didn't see that.
So you know this Micah Richards thing?
Yeah.
When he's defending Pogba and whatever. Apparently Tanganga retweeted that tweet of that video of him saying it, and then deleted the tweet.
Oh, really?
Deleted the retweet, apparently.
So that was laying into Harry Kane. That was saying, Richards, wasn't it?
Well, kind of. It was saying Harry Kane skipped training, and when everyone calls him a saint, but Pogba hasn't said he wants to leave and everyone's abusing him, or something like that. And apparently Tanganga retweeted that, and then deleted the retweet. I don't. First of all, I don't know if it's a genuine Tanganga account, but apparently it is.
Was it the blue tick Tanganga account? Or
I didn't see. There's a screenshot of it. It's hard to tell. Some people are claiming it is the genuine one.
I mean, he's got a blue tick and he's got him in a pink training top.
Yeah, so it looked like there was that picture, that profile picture, and it said Jaffet, but on the screenshot you can't see the blue tick because it's cut off or something. It was like a weird. I'm not sure if it is, but it's interesting if that's if he genuinely did retweet that. Maybe it plays into what is maybe how the dressing room feel about him. Or at the moment, which would be interesting. Clearly, Sanchez said something else, though, so that would be a different element. And then also, I don't know if you saw in the interview after the game,
Eric Dyer.
First of all, Dyer said we're more than one club. That's true, but then on the flip side, Son was being interviewed by the Premier League channel, and they said, "Oh, Kane's not going to get his place back." And someone's like, "Oh, he definitely will," or something like that. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the current squad are feeling about Harry Kane at the moment. I don't know.
But Eric Dyer was speaking positively about Harry Kane, and then he went on to say that we're more than just one player.
Yeah, of course they are. Because look, I'm not surprised because look, he's the best striker in the world. We know that, or in Europe at least. He's the best number 9. We know that he's been very until now very loyal to Tottenham, and he's been a part of this club. And a lot of these players know him for a very long time. They know he wants to leave, but doesn't mean they don't understand his reasons for wanting to leave. And I don't think they hold it against. I don't believe they hold it against him. Did you hear these? See these Sissoko quotes?
No, I didn't see any Sissoko quotes.
Yeah, Sissoko on Kane. Here, read this. So he says. So Sissoko said into Foot Mercato, he says, he said in June apparently, he said like all players, Kane wants to win titles. A player of his stature deserves to win titles each season. Sadly, we have failed to do so each time for various reasons, and I think that must irk him inside. I do not know if he'll leave or not, but if he does leave, I would wish him the best because he deserves to win titles with all that he has done, and he's an extremely extraordinary player. He's a truly extraordinary player.
Yeah, and that's what we've pretty much been saying all season, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm saying, I think he would be welcome back, and I think he would be reintegrated into the team if he doesn't get his move.
I don't have any doubts about that.
Yeah, so and I think they, of course, they're going to speak positively of him, but if he does move on, they have to show strength. They have to show like that they can't be kind of focusing on his exit and focusing on one player. So that's why they have to show, if say the club is bigger than one player and stuff like that, has a show of strength to the public. If Kane does leave, to show that we are more than one, we are a team, and them focusing on just Harry Kane misses the point of who we are.
Yeah,
and I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. I completely agree, and
I think people read the quote and say, "Oh, dire quote. We are more than one player," and they read a lot into that.
They don't actually see the whole interview as well, and see all the positive comments they made about Kane as well. But look, we're going to have to see how this one plays out. I think you're probably right in terms of by the end of this week, if we're not like strongly linked or heavily linked to another striker, and some stuff doesn't seem like it's going to happen, next week might be too late for all this stuff to happen.
You'd have to think so.
So we'll have to see how it plays out. There's still 2 weeks to go till the transfer window closes, but the Kane situation is nowhere near the end, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The end of resolution, that's for sure. But let's move on. Let's talk about Nahitan Nandez of Cagliari. Romano broke the story a couple of days ago saying that he's a player that we're very much linked with. He's a very versatile player, can play centre mid, centre back, right back as well. Sky Sports have been talking about it as well, and they say Tottenham have not yet bid for Cagliari midfielder, but he remains on their radar. And there was another update.
Yeah, Sky
as well.
Italy said.
Yes, go on.
Sky Italy saying that Tottenham are, or Romano actually was talking about him yesterday, and he said that Spurs are preparing a bid for him of between 25 and 30 million euros.
Oh, here's the Sky Italy one. It says Tottenham Hotspur are close to making a 30 million euro bid. The offer will be 10 million paid in loan with a purchase obligation for 20 million euros.
Yeah, and that's in his Romano tweet. Says Spurs have approached Cagliari about Nahitan Nandez, as revealed yesterday. He's on Tottenham's list of potential new signings, but there's no official bid yet. Tottenham will soon decide whether to sign Nandez or not, and he's on the market. Price tag between 25 and 30 million euro, which is what Romano's saying yesterday.
Do you have any idea about this guy?
No, but from what I've read and what I've seen, he seems like one of these midfielders who is like decent to average to decent kind of passing ability and like shooting ability and tackling ability, but he's got extremely strong kind of leadership and work rate and all this stuff, which in a team like Tottenham, like for example, he could very easily have been in midfield yesterday and like been part of that midfield and would have succeeded, right? But it's whether in other games, like when teams are taking a different approach, like whether he could suit those kind of games. Obviously, I'm not like when the team is sitting back, whether he could help break down a defense and stuff like that and add creativity. He's not. Doesn't seem like a creative player. He seems like kind of like an Ollie Skip kind of player, or
like
kind
a
of
heavy
thing.
worker in the middle kind of
yeah.
thing.
And I guess that helps because at the moment Højbjerg and Skip are the ones providing the legs in midfield, Obviously, Dele as well to an extent. But in terms of real, proper, hard-working central midfielders that we have in the squad, you've got Højbjerg and Skip. Maybe he feels like he needs another one just to add some legs in there in case Højbjerg and Skip burn out. I don't know.
Maybe it's a case of to replace Sissoko if Sissoko is just about to be out the door as well.
Oh, yeah, and also that, which I'd hope so. So
Or
I don't know.
Winks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about him. I'm not going to lie. He obviously plays for Cagliari. He has 30 caps for Uruguay, and Uruguay are a decent team, so it's not like that's easy to do. 25 years of age, so is it a good age? But he seems like the kind of player who will probably come for like a couple years, like do a good job, and then we'll sell him for like a tiny loss or something, or maybe a tiny profit or something like that.
A Didier Zakora signing.
Kind of, something like that. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a guy who's going to revolutionise us. He's going to like supplement the squad kind of thing, and maybe do a good job in some games, do an average job in some other games, but always give 100%. That's how I kind of feel this guy is. That's the feeling I get with him.
It's not really someone that really fills me with much excitement.
No,
that's for
but
sure.
maybe he's one of these signings who's necessary.
Maybe, but I do feel like there are other positions that are much more needed than that. But he is, in terms of a player, very versatile, so that could also be
That's
part of it.
also maybe part of it.
Centre back, right back, and centre mid. That feels like 3 holes.
Yeah, so maybe that's what we're looking at, a player who can do a decent job in multiple positions. And
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, but maybe it'd be interesting to see how because maybe we see him as a player who could cover the defensive positions as well, and maybe it lessens the need to get a defender or something.
All right, well, there's another one that we're going to have to see how it plays out. We've got a super chat from Chris Liu saying, obviously one of Dyer and Sanchez will leave. Which one of them do you want to be sold? Sanchez and Romero are both aggressive centre-backs. Also, we can receive a higher fee for Sanchez, but he has been great. I mean, I wouldn't say he's been great. I thought he was great in that one game, but to say he has been great, I think, is a bit of a stretch. But if you're asking me who I'd prefer to sell, either Dyer and Sanchez, I'd probably Sanchez, just because you can command a bigger fee for him.
Yeah, that's the reality. So I think Sanchez for me, I would look to sell him. I think there should be more offers coming in for Sanchez than it would be for a Dyer as well. So as much as he played well yesterday, also on Sunday against City, I think...
but we've seen these performances from Sanchez before, you know what I mean?
Even in big games. He's played well in big games before. It's not the first time. It's just over a long season, we haven't been able to rely on him. If he is to stay, at least now there's some renewed optimism of what he can do. I wouldn't want to be a situation where he does end up staying and like we keep pooing his good performances because he's done badly in the past. I wouldn't want to do that. But at the moment, if there is an opportunity to get a good fee for him, I would still be very open to selling him. But at least, as I'm saying, at least if he does stay, there's some renewed optimism that maybe he could be improved on what he's done in the past under a new manager potentially. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, definitely. But that's that. I mean, is there any other bits? I mean, first of all, the link to join in the community section. So if you want to come on and have a chat and anything regarding anything Tottenham related, come on and have a chat with us live on the show.
Michael Bridge has confirmed Harry Kane is in training with the first team this morning. This is the first time Kane has trained fully with his teammates since returning from holiday. So Kane has turned up for training today and is training with the first team. So that's a bit of breaking news coming out of Sky Sports.
And Fabrizio Romano has just said a minute ago that Man City are still hoping to sign Kane, but Spurs' position has not changed. And I think it's getting further and further away as Martinez and Vlahovic seems to be getting further and further away, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's talk about if it's not Vlahovic or Martinez, what other strikers could we get through the door? Or what other strikers would you want?
I mean...
Would you take a Raul Jimenez after that big injury?
I love Raul. Before the injury, I would have. I love him. I think he's such a good player. I think he was one of the best strikers in the league. Can you take that kind of a risk? I mean, it's more of a risk now than it would have been than like on a other player, just because you just don't know if he's going to come back the same player. And I don't know. I want to say yes because I don't want to believe he's not going to become that player again. I want to believe he will be as good as he was. but I don't like the money they're going to be asking for him. Like, it's going to be too much.
What will they be asking? 40, 50?
Has to be at least 40. Yeah, it has to be at least 40 million. But then again, what other strikers are there around in the Premier League or whatever?
We've got some comments here. I mean, João Felix, that's just not going to happen.
No, forget João Felix.
Ivan Toney, Alexander Isak.
I wouldn't mind Ivan Toney as one. Alexander Isak. I mean, yeah, I would like him. I would like
Can't
Isak.
trust Isak to be your number one striker.
But he's also 21, just like Vlahovic.
Yeah, he is. But I think Vlahovic in that season has got many, many, many more goals than Isak. No?
Vlahovic 21, there's Isak 17.
Oh, really?
Isak got 17 goals in La Liga last season.
I didn't realise, yeah.
So he had a very good season. I'm even looking in the Premier League right now. I'm thinking
Weghorst.
Yeah, Weghorst. I'll take Weghorst and Isak. Those two. It'd have to be two, I think, if we're not getting like a Martinez kind of level. So like Weghorst and Isak, I'll definitely take. Or Weghorst and Toney. Would I take that?
How much would Toney command right now?
Also between 30 and 40, you would have to say. Calvert-Lewin, I would want him, but he would
be in like 70, 80 million.
Yeah, he's going to cost a lot of money. So is it going to be that he's not going to be very easily attainable at all? I
like the idea of Weghorst. I really do.
I'm a big fan of Weghorst. I think he's a good target man, good striker. But he's one of those strikers who he offers something very specific, and he wouldn't be able to do it like.
He could be our like Llorente replacement.
Kind of. I think he'd be more involved than Llorente was.
Yeah, I'm saying that, but he's like a better version kind of thing.
Yeah, but you kind of need a starting striker and Weghorst with that, I feel. Like that's why it would have been perfect to get him last summer, but that wasn't possible. Chris Wood, would I want him?
No.
I kind of like Chris Wood. I think he's underrated.
To play backup to Kane, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind him as backup, but obviously I'd prefer a Weghorst for sure.
Rumours hotting up this week about Patrick Bamford.
Patrick Bamford, please no.
I think he would flop big time.
Yeah.
I just get this feeling. I think he's got a good thing going at Leeds. I feel like it's one of those players who fits the club well, and he's like kind of failed wherever else he's been. And I think if he came to Spurs, I don't know, I wouldn't be confident of getting him of him being well at Spurs. I don't think he would be good.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that. I think Bamford. I don't even think he's going to have a good season for Leeds this season. I think he's going to kind of fall a bit flat. As I think last year was a very standout season for him, and I can't see him replicating that this year.
Yeah. What else is there? Who other strikers are there? I mean,
a lot of people saying Dybala in the comments.
Oh, come on, get real.
Soldado, Schick.
Patrick Schick. He had a great Euros. Do I think he's I don't know. Do I think he's one who would come into Spurs and do that great of a job? But he hasn't done that well. I don't think he did that well last season, Patrick Schick. I know he had a great Euros for the Czech Republic. How many goals he got last year? Because I know he's been to Roma and he's been a few places and not done so well. 9 goals in 29 for Leverkusen on the back of 10 goals in 22 for Leipzig. That's not bad. And then before that, 3 goals in 24 for Roma. 2 goals in 22 the season before. So he's very hit and miss. And then although he had a good Euros, there would be a very Pavlyuchenko-esque signing. Someone who had a decent Euros and he would come in and maybe he'll do a half decent job, but he would never be a player who would ever step up to the plate for me in big moments.
What about someone like I just had a couple of names in my head.
Yaremchuk? Oh, he's signed for Benfica.
Yaremchuk, did he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, there you go. Yaremchuk's at Benfica.
Who did I have in my head? Kasper Dolberg.
I like Kasper Dolberg, but again, I'm not that sold on him. I'm not that sold that he would come into Spurs and be the player we need him to be.
One who I think is tailor-made for the Premier League is Odsonne Edouard from Celtic.
Yeah. He would be one.
I think he would be an absolutely brilliant signing. And I think he's one, obviously coming from the Scottish League, under 21 France international. I think that he would come in and he would be happy to play back up to Kane for a year or two if he's going to, in future, to get our number one striking spot.
Edouard would definitely be one I would consider. Maybe El Nesri from Sevilla. I like him as well. I think he's good. Honestly, there really isn't that many options. And like you might be looking at maybe Immobile, but he's old. Icardi, he could be gettable from PSG. Now they got Messi and stuff. But
how much do you think Edouard costs?
Probably like 25, 30 million.
Oh, I think you've got to take that. You have to take that, surely. Surely.
Well, so there must be a reason no one's gone for him.
I would love, Leicester, the move fell through.
True,
didn't it?
I wonder why that fell through.
The move fell through and they ended up going for Patson Daka instead.
It's
but
not bad.
If we could get, would you take Edouard and Weghorst for Kane?
No.
No, definitely not.
Not definitely not, but I think only if there's like a lot of spare change with that, which we can get big upgrades for other positions.
I think there would be. I think they would cost both of them 30 million max.
Because I think Weghorst and Edouard would be good. It'd be good, but I don't think it would be like if you look at the striking options of the teams above us. I just don't think it holds a candle to them. It's just difficult. You need to get someone like Martinez to do that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, and this is the assumption that Martinez and Vlahovic aren't coming. So like, this is what we're talking about. Like, who would be the next best after them? Could it be them?
Edouard and Weghorst. I don't know. I mean, Edouard has done great in the Scottish League, but it's the Scottish League. You never know, do you?
Yeah.
Has he done well in Europe as well?
I don't think he's been anywhere in Europe. He's been at Celtic since.
No, I mean when they've played in Europe.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I know he just scores a lot of goals for them, but I'm just not sure if he does well in Europe or not. He scored 3 goals in the Europa League last season in 6 appearances.
It's not bad. It says here he got no goals in 4 appearances.
So that's 3 and 6.
Maybe that's his total career. Oh no, last season.
Yeah. He got 0 and 2 in the
this?
Champions League this season.
I see. Oh, I'm looking this season, sorry. Yeah. It says 4 and 7, in Europe last year.
Yeah.
He got 18 and 31 in the Scottish League. The year before that, 22 and 27. So he's got a good record in the Scottish League.
He's got a good record in Europe as well. 5 goals, 6 goals and 4 goals.
And he's young.
Yeah.
And he's tall.
Yeah, he's 23 years old. 23 years old. Came from PSG Academy. Played at every France level: under 17, under 18, under 19, under 21. Scored bag of goals for all of them. I mean, every time I see him play for Celtic, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I remember a year ago we really wanted him, but that was more like he'd be the perfect kind of backup striker to Kane. He would be like perfect.
Yeah.
Do I want him to replace Kane? Because that's what we're kind of asking him to do.
I think if he's backed up with another striker like a Weghorst, I think it could work.
Okay, I wouldn't mind that terribly, I guess. I mean, I don't think it's the best option, but I think I wouldn't mind it.
Lukijovic?
No. I don't know. He's kind of failed really badly at Madrid, hasn't he? He went back to Frankfurt for a bit. I don't know if he did that well.
Let's have a look.
Lukijovic.
But I think he that his first spell at Frankfurt was
it was unbelievable. But then
insane,
after that,
wasn't it?
That's why he got the move to Madrid.
Yeah. So in his he did really bad
in the second spell.
Yeah, he got 4 goals only in 18 games.
Daniel Hammett says Jimenez for 50, Edouard for 25. Money left over from the Kane sale towards other areas. Jimenez proven and knows Nuno's style well and will press.
That's a good point though. About him and Nuno getting on very well, and obviously Nuno got the best out of Jimenez.
I guess Nuno will.
Maybe he can reignite his career as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If we are convinced by Jimenez that he's going to recover fully, I would definitely like him at Spurs. But I just feel I don't know. It's a very big risk, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big risk, but I think all of these strikers that we're talking about are a big risk. Literally all of them.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a risk because you're not sure if they'll suit the league, or a risk because you're not sure if they'll come back fully from injury. Because you can't put too much pressure on someone in that sense, kind of thing.
Yeah.
What about Belotti again? Come back in for him?
I wasn't that impressed with him in the Euros, to be fair.
I like Belotti. I'm a big fan of Belotti.
I am a big fan of Belotti, but I just expected more from him for the Euros. But anyone can have a bad tournament. But yeah, he is a good
27,
player.
definitely
good player,
a club
scores a lot of goals in Serie A. But I think that if he was that good, I think we would be heavily linked with him because Paratici knows everyone in Serie A like the back of his hand.
Yeah, true. I think Belotti is one of the strikers wouldn't mind at all.
Belotti or Icardi? Because I think Icardi could be available now with Messi gone. Messi there.
I think Icardi might be a better box striker for sure. I think he's probably a better player, but I think Belotti might fit our system a bit better than Icardi would. I think Icardi would frustrate the tits out of everyone if he came. He would just be walking around all the time and then just waiting to poach, whereas Belotti would be much more involved. Although I feel like his finishing ability does take him probably a bit above Belotti.
Did you hear about... there's a striker at Barcelona that's been linked with us. That's not signing.
It's an 18-year-old or something.
Moriba.
Yeah.
Apparently, who's supposed to be one of the next big things in football. I mean, he's not signing a new contract with Barcelona. He's been linked with Tottenham. Apparently, Fabio Paratici really likes him. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't really know who he is.
You don't know who he is? Big, tall striker, apparently.
Never seen him play, I must say. He's 18 years of age, I believe, so it's hard to judge. You can't sign an 18-year-old and put him and expect him to replace or even be backup to Harry Kane. I think that's so difficult. Look, of course, sign him up and get him in and maybe and get him involved. I'll be happy with that. Do we sign him up and put him straight in the first team? We got young strikers already. Scarlett, who's there. Do we want to sign him? And I don't know.
I'm reading this article here. It says Liverpool have made contact to sign 85 million Moriba. 85 million.
What does that even mean? 85. What, they're going to spend 85 million on him?
Can you imagine?
No chance.
But yeah, I think there's nothing really. There's no other strikers really that we can talk about. I mean, Braithwaite, no one wants him.
No.
Who else is there?
There's Ollie Watkins will be too difficult to get him.
Sorry, Moriba is a central midfielder apparently.
Yeah, I was about to say I wasn't sure if he was a striker or not.
I thought he was a striker. I must have read something when I was up late last night, but I was
Inaki Williams from Bilbao.
Oh, he's been pretty good over the years.
27. Maybe he's at an age where he'd look to move. Wouldn't mind. I quite like him. He's got a lot of pace, doesn't he? Could fit our system really well. Do we get a cheap deal for Duvan Zapata? Do we think about that?
Well, they're saying they want 37 million, 40 million for him. And that's why Inter didn't sign him.
Yeah, for a 30-year-old.
That's why Inter didn't sign him.
Moussa Dembele from Lyon.
Moussa Dembele from Lyon.
Is that boat still there?
How's he done at Lyon?
He doesn't really start every game anymore.
I mean, if he doesn't start for Lyon, how's he going to start for us?
What about Sasa Kalajic?
Who's that?
6'6" striker from Stuttgart, scored about a few goals last season.
He was on loan at Atletico Madrid last year, Dembele.
Yeah, he was for a bit. That's
5 games.
Didn't do very well. What about was it Sasa Kalajic? He scored. How many goals he scored last year? He got
Moussa Dembele scored 1 goal in 20 appearances for all clubs last season.
Oh dear, forget that. Sasa Kalajic scored 16 goals in 33 games last year. He's
for who?
24 years old.
For who?
Stuttgart.
Oh.
And he's 24 years old. And he's very tall. He's could be a decent other option to Weghorst. Very tall striker.
At the end of the day, we've spoken about all these strikers, but there's no sort of links to any of them. The only people that we've seen linked to us is the two, Vlahovic and Martinez, and they seem to be sweeping away at the moment. How do you see this playing out now? Do you think Kane is going to stay now past the window?
Well, with the news that he's back in training today.
Yeah.
Who's this? What about? I would take Thuram. Yeah, but he's not a striker. Someone tweeted that at us. I don't know. I think with the news today he's back in training. If he's involved in the squad on Thursday, I just feel like this deal could be getting away from Man City. I think time's ticking away, man. I really believe time's ticking away. I think Sunday there was a big, obviously him being out of the squad and everything. I think there's still a bit of a push for him to leave. But now But now he's back within the team. I think that does make a difference. I think him being able to get back within the groove of things, back with his teammates and talk with the coach and that. And he's not basically before he was separate, and it's kind of like he's out of training and he's like separate from the group and what's gonna kind of where's his head at basically? Is he gonna refuse to like do anything? But now he's back. I think the deal becomes less likely now. I think it does become even less likely.
Lloyd Culver says Victor Osimhen. I mean, Napoli signed him for like 70 million.
Like a year ago, no? Or 2 years ago? Not long ago.
I can't see that one happening.
Yeah, so it looks like... one sec. People have been tagging us in something. Coming soon. Oh, this is a Nuno thing. What a shot that is. There's the Spurs' latest tweet. It's a great shot of Nuno and the fans celebrating the goal.
Tell you the truth, I really like this new admin at Spurs. He's really good on the Twitter.
Yeah, he's doing some good stuff, isn't he?
He's doing really good stuff.
Although he got clowned for doing something the other day. That tweet of that cartoon or something where they said...
I never saw that.
He was getting clowned for it. I don't know why. It said I think the tweet said something to the effect of "whatever happens, we'll try our best" or something, and people are clowning him because he's like a very defeatist attitude or something like that.
I see.
But obviously, he came off, didn't it? We won, and we did try our best. Yeah, it's difficult to know exactly what's going to happen. I still think it's still up in the air a bit. Oh wow, what's this? Flooding in with striker options, are they? Bloody hell.
What were you about to say?
I still think it's up in the air, but I think right now, as things stand, I'm leaning towards him staying rather than him leaving right now. But I don't know how it affects our business in the window. I don't know how it affects what our plans were for other positions, basically.
Does the result and performance, well, result aside, does the performance actually on Sunday change your mind of what we can actually achieve this season?
Slightly. I mean, I'm impressed about how quickly Nuno was able to get that kind of performance out of the team. I must say that, and I thought it would take him a lot longer to kind of how do I say, get the structure of the team right for the pressing system and that kind of stuff, and the fitness and all these things. It took Pochettino a lot longer than I know we've gone through the factors why that was, but it did take him over a year to get that really spot on, and to get this kind of performance out of this team so early on is impressive. I still think top four is probably out of reach. I still believe that as of right now, but I'm a lot more. Before I was like, I think top six, we should be aiming for top six, and now I think maybe we can get closer to top four than I realised, but I still believe top four is probably just going to be out of reach. So I don't believe we're going to seriously get into that position, but top six in a trophy. And so basically, no, it hasn't changed yet what I believe we can achieve, but it makes me more confident that we definitely can achieve what I think we can.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the same thinking. I think that I can't see us finishing higher than fifth.
Just can't. I think the other teams are too strong, unfortunately.
I think so. The top four teams in terms of Liverpool, Chelsea, City and United, I mean, they're a different level to us in terms of what they can put out on the pitch at the moment. Especially look at Chelsea. Just look at their strength and depth, and now bring in Lukaku. Look at Man City with their strength and depth. I mean, I just can't see it. I wish I was wrong.
The only way it can happen is just too much to do from now to the window. The only way it can happen is if we keep Kane and maybe another signing in defence, and maybe another attacking signing as well, like a winger or something, or someone who can play up front and on the wing. Maybe then they can close the gap quite a bit, because I think there's, as I said before, there's a lot of talent in the squad that we just haven't made the most of. But other than that, it's too much to do. You know, we still haven't got rid of Aurier and Sissoko. We're 2 weeks to go in the window. Like, are they staying right now? You know what I mean? What's going on there?
It looks like they are staying at the moment, but there's 2 weeks to go. So we'll just have to see how this one plays out. But in terms of any more news today, is there anything else you wanted to talk about today?
Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Nothing specific. I wanted to talk to some people. Is anyone? No one calling in? Come on, guys. Someone call in. The rendezvous link's in the community section. Let's talk. I want to talk to some people.
Sim wants to talk to some people. He wants to talk Tottenham.
Well, Tammy Abraham announced today for Roma.
Yeah, to Roma.
I think it's a good signing for them. I think he's underrated, Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, I'm not such a big fan of Tammy Abraham. I think he'll do well outside of England, though.
I think in England he did well. He got, 17 goals a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Didn't do badly.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I just don't think he's he's an all right Premier League striker. I don't think he's a striker for a top
he's
four club.
I think he's on like a similar level to like Callum Wilson.
That's what I'm saying. He's not like a top four caliber striker.
He can get you some. He can get you.
I think like Europa League at best, like 5th or 6th or 7th.
I reckon he can get you 15, 20 goals in a season.
Yeah,
I'd agree. Which is not bad.
Yeah, but I said, I think a team that he would suit perfectly is like Aston Villa or someone like that.
I think there's a backup striker there. You can do a lot worse than Tammy Abraham.
I don't think he would want to be a backup striker, though. That's the thing.
That's also true. He's already a backup striker. And yeah, I don't know. What was this update I saw on Sam Lee on Kane? He said there are people in relevant positions at Man City who are ready for the arrival of Harry Kane this week. Do you reckon he's kind of inferring that a deal's already been done and it's just kind of a waiting game, see if Spurs can get their targets and this is the week he could come in?
Yeah, could very well be, but like we keep saying, if we don't get our targets in, then there's no deal on the table. Surely, there can't be. So
would you right now? Well, what would you put a deadline on this in terms of when we can get our targets in?
I think the deadline should have already passed.
All right, but it hasn't. So you should be able to put it today.
I would have put. Yes. Of course, I would have put. You have to put a deadline on these things, but again, like the deadline and what's coming out in the press shouldn't be kind of public. It should all be private behind closed doors.
What do you think of the debate right now? There's a bit of a debate going on about how Kane should be labelled publicly after his actions, in terms of should he now be seen as like an unprofessional player or someone who or because he's had this squeaky clean reputation, right, of being the top professional, being a saint, as Micah Richards or Gary Neville said on Sky Sports, and ever since he did what he did, some people claim he's maybe not got enough flack for what he done, and maybe he should be seen more as a player who's unprofessional or not loyal and all this kind of stuff and all these negative connotations. Do you think that these actions are a blight on his career?
No, I don't. I think that he's just trying to do what's best for his career. He's got people around him advising him whatever to do this, to do that. Yes, look, at the end of the day, I hate what he's done, and I hate what he's done, and I don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna stop loving him, and I'm not gonna stop respecting him for everything he's done for Tottenham Hotspur. I think this 1 week doesn't replace the last 10 years or however long it's been.
Not even from a Tottenham fan, but just as a football player.
I think it's shocked a lot of people. Definitely shocked a lot of people. Definitely out of character. But I think it's a very hard thing dealing with Daniel Levy. You got to say that. It's a very hard thing dealing with Daniel Levy. And sometimes if you don't make a statement, then it's very hard to get your way. And me personally, I still think that he would have got his way and would have got his move without him making these statements. But, when you're coming up against Daniel Levy, sometimes you've got to do very difficult things to push your move through. And I think that especially when you've got someone advising you like Charlie Kane, who is so highly inexperienced, you're going to do stupid things. And I think what he did, it was stupid. But I think the people around it, he's got wrong people around him. And I think he needs to have an elite agent instead of his brother, to be honest. That's what I think. You're saying
elite agents wouldn't have advised him to do that?
I don't know what elite agents would have done. I don't know, but I think maybe it would have been handled in a bit of a different way.
It's difficult to know, isn't it?
It is difficult.
Because I've seen players with big agents also do that kind of stuff. But what do you think of like what Micah Richards was saying, like Harry Kane missed training and tries to force a move, and he's talked about like a saint by Gary Neville, but Paul Pogba never said he wanted to leave United, which I don't think is true, but he's claiming that, and he gets abuse. Do you think there's a double standard there?
A little bit, but I think that Gary Neville's just buttering up Harry Kane to get his new exclusive, his next exclusive on the YouTube channel. Maybe. So look, I think that it's people love to hate on Pogba as well. People love to hate on Pogba, and as well, like, you can't look at the careers at Man United and the careers at Tottenham that Pogba and Harry Kane has had. You can there's an argument to say that Pogba sometimes goes on the pitch and gives half-assed performances and doesn't give his all on the pitch 100% of the time. But when he does, he's an absolutely special player, and he can bring you through like world-class abilities. But he doesn't bring that to you nearly as much as he should do. Harry Kane gives his 100%. He's the model professional. Every time he steps foot on that football pitch, he gives his all for the football club, all for the badge. He's got such a great rapport with the fans. And I think in terms of the way they've handled themselves in kind of the transfer stuff, I think that's all swept aside. I think the way they're kind of looking at things is how they put themselves on a football pitch and their personalities and their day-to-day roles at the football club. I think that's what more plays into the narratives than what they're actually doing as their transfer thing.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. I think when people say this kind of stuff, I think Micah Richards is maybe a bit when he says that narrative. People are saying, I think people are jumping on the bandwagon saying he's spitting facts and all this stuff. I don't think it's totally true. I don't think he's totally right in what he says, because I think when it comes to dealing with transfers, no one's giving Pogba abuse because he wants to leave Man United or anything. People gave Pogba abuse because he's extremely, for how many years he's been at United now, since 2016? 5 years now. He's pretty much, throughout those 5 years, been extremely inconsistent. And throughout those 5 years, and because those inconsistencies, when he tries to force a move, off the back of that, it's like, well, you haven't done your part. So why do you think you're better than us? And why do you think you're, this is from Man United fans anyway, why do you think you're like better than the club? And why do you think you deserve a move when you really have been extremely inconsistent ever since you've been to United? And you haven't been, there are some games it's very clear you haven't definitely not been at 100% or giving your all and stuff like that. Whereas Harry Kane, you just can't say that about him. You just can't. Ever since he's been into the Tottenham team, ever since he signed that contract 3 years ago,
he's been the model professional.
He's put everything on the pitch. He's been completely the model professional. He's been on top of his game week in, week out. He's been top goal scorer. He's kept up his standards. It's the team that has lowered their standards, not Kane. Kane has kept up his standards whenever he's been on the pitch.
So he hasn't only kept up his standards, he kind of trumps his standards every season, season on, season on.
Or I mean, apart from the injuries, but even when he's injured, he still gets a lot of goals. He just gets injuries. That's all.
Last season was Spurs' worst season, right? Until since Kane has like announced himself to the footballing world, right?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
until he's hit the heights of Harry Kane, and that's his best season.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything you need to know.
So how do you think Kane feels? Well, so from one sense, it's understandable when a player wants to force a move because he's at a club where he's at his peak and he's at his best. He's playing out of his skin, yet the club can't match that with what they're providing him with or around the team. And yet with Pogba, he's a player who's been extremely inconsistent. He has very good games and also extremely average games, and yet he thinks he's better. He thinks he deserves a new challenge or is better than the team, even though he hasn't held up his standards. So that's why he gets abuse and Kane is seen as a saint in that view, not because of the whole forcing a move and all kind of stuff. I think Micah Richards is a bit misguided when he says that kind of stuff.
I think that I think things need to be said the way that Kane's pushing through the mill. I think it does need to be said, but
yeah, I agree with you.
I think it needs but in terms of the narrative, in terms of Pogba's painted as a devil and Kane's painted as a saint.
Kane has received abuse, by the way.
He has received abuse, but I think that you just got that's mainly due to their career. It's not due to the way the transfer sagas are playing out. That's for sure.
And also, it's all easy to forget with Pogba as well. His agent Raiola, more than once, has come out and said Pogba wants to leave. He wants to find a new club, all this kind of stuff. I doubt he's saying that without. I don't think he's saying it with Pogba's permission. I don't think Pogba's saying, "Look, say this." But I don't believe that Pogba and Raiola are chatting and saying, and Pogba's like, "You know what? I'm so happy at United. I want to stay forever." And Raiola's just chatting to the press saying, "Oh, he wants to leave." That's clearly not happening.
If that wasn't the case, and Pogba wanted to stay at Man United for so long, first of all, why is his contract not signed? Why is he going into a season with 1 year left in his contract when offers have been on the table for Pogba? And also, why is he not coming out and saying what Raiola is saying is not true? You know
no,
what I
I
mean?
don't think he would ever do that.
Why not,
He
though?
would never say, because he's got an agent. He's not going to go publicly.
Yeah, but his
against
agent is disillusioning his fan base.
He wouldn't say that, but what I'm saying is Roller wouldn't be saying this stuff if Pogba didn't feel it. He must obviously feel what Roller is saying. I'm not saying Pogba is telling Roller to say it, but Pogba obviously must feel what Roller is saying, and they must be on the same page on that. Otherwise, Roller wants what's in the best interest of his client. He's not gonna try and destabilize Pogba in his club if Pogba's truly happy and truly loves being at United and all this kind of stuff. He's not going to do that. So I find it stupid when Micah Richards says, "Oh, do you not think that agents go speak without players' permission?" Like, he might do, but he's not going to say something that Pogba doesn't want him to say, kind of thing. I don't think Pogba's ordering him to say it, but he's not going to say anything Pogba doesn't want him to say. So I think that's silly from Micah Richards' point of view. I do think he has a slight point when he says, when it comes to kind of Pogba painted as a villain and Kane painted as a saint. He has a slight point on that, but I think your point is stronger when it comes to. I don't think mainly it's to do with how they forced away their transfer, which is absolutely right. So I think with that interaction, I think people are looking at that and thinking that Micah Richards is totally in the right in that sense, and there's definitely a big double standard. But I think there's some nuance that has been missed in that conversation.
I agree with
from
you.
both sides.
I agree.
So that's I think that's my take on that whole thing. People said, check your tweets. Have you seen Charlie Kane's tweets? He's trending on Twitter.
I don't get this whole Charlie Kane rubbish that's been going on Twitter.
I haven't. I've seen him trending. I don't understand why.
Yeah,
exactly.
just people are just tweeting stupid things about him that make no sense.
I understand that, but what did he tweet? Did he tweet something?
No idea.
Saw Charlie Kane trending. Charlie Kane realised he's trending because he's cool. But why? What was the original tweet? Was there something that kicked it all off?
I don't think there was. I think it was just.
Because someone tagged us in it. If I want to.
I just checked his Twitter. There was nothing on it.
Or maybe he deleted it or something.
The last tweet from him was the retweet from Harry Kane's statement.
Okay.
Well, David Ornstein has just been talking about Harry Kane, apparently.
Saying, oh, here we go.
He says, Man City are ready to pay a fixed £100 million plus 25 to 30 million pounds in add-ons for Harry Kane, but that's nowhere near Daniel Levy's valuation of the striker.
They're not getting Kane for that. They are not getting Kane for that amount of money. It's the only way they get him. It's 130 million fixed plus add-ons. Maybe there's something to be done there. 100 million plus add-ons is nowhere near. Yeah, I think Ornstein's completely right. And I think Levy's completely right to say absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. There is zero chance Man City are getting Kane for that amount of money. Zero. You might as well just call it off now if that's their bid with 2 weeks to go.
Yeah,
I think call it off.
HLTCO says that saw Charlie Kane was trending. Click to find out why. It's basically it's one collective act of pettiness we can all get behind from Tottenham fans. That's what it is.
I do kind of appreciate it. They're so angry with how Charlie Kane has advised Harry that they're just going to go after him with anything, which I find funny. But we've met Charlie Kane a few times, haven't we? Our away days.
Yeah.
Has he always been Kane's agent?
I think so. No, I think it was a recent thing. Maybe in the past, like 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Right. So when we were with him in the away games, was he his agent?
I don't remember when we were.
Because we were. What game was it? We've been with him one of the away games. Oh dear. What was that from?
We Are Tottenham memes have confirmed Sim to Arsenal, apparently.
Oh dear. I might have upset them. Don't want to incur the wrath of the We Are Tottenham TV memes. Definitely not. Oh dear. Dearie me. Yeah, obviously Tottenham won around 150, 160. That's completely justifiable. I think that bid is actually derisory for Man City at this stage. At this stage, yeah.
I think if that was an opening bid, then fine, fair enough. But now, at this stage...
When we're 2 weeks to go to window, no, get out of here. Honestly, if that's their bid, Kane ain't going anywhere. And with him being back in training as well, and with him getting reintegrated to the side, how that pisses me off, that bid, if that's true. If that's what they're actually offering right now at this stage, that actually annoys me.
It doesn't even annoy me. doesn't annoy me at all because it's just like,
who do you think they are? They can get him for 100 million plus add-ons when Ben White's worth 50.
Let them because they're not going to get it.
Yeah,
who cares?
but it's just going to unsettle Kane even further. Where they think there's.
I don't think there's. Can you unsettle Kane more than he's unsettled? The guy's dying to leave anyway.
Yeah, they can because they said we're not going to go that. We're not going to bid to 150 and just leave it. Then Kane will know where he stands. But now you saw
Levy and Eriksson in that meeting.
True, he's going to make it clear.
He's going to make it so
clear. I'm hoping Kane sees out of this is that City actually don't want him as badly as he thinks they do.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that Daniel Levy probably could not have been more black and white with Harry Kane than he probably has been. I know we don't know the conversations that's going on behind the scenes, but Daniel Levy is probably telling him straight out, this is the price. If they meet the price, you can go. And if they don't, then you're staying. That's
exactly.
It. Finished.
And I think that we're asking for a lot of money, but it's not what he's worth. That's exactly what you're worth, especially in the market when Ben White's gone for 50 million. I'm sorry.
If they add Laporte to that.
Lukaku just went for 100 million. So, and he's a year older than Kane.
Yeah.
So, what do you want? Do you want Levy to not get your correct value?
If they add a Laporte to that deal, I would take it.
100 million plus add-ons plus Laporte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
130 million plus Laporte.
Terry from the Football Terrace has tweeted saying, Man City are very confident in signing Kane. Tottenham are very confident in keeping Kane. I'm told Man City has everything planned for his arrival and Tottenham have plans for his exit, but what do you think will happen? That's what he's hearing. I don't know. Look, there's no plans for his exit when it's that kind of fee. I'm sorry. That fee is a shocker from Man City.
The only way I accept that fee is if they add a Emerick Laporte to that. Or someone else. Maybe would you take a Bernardo Silva?
I would take Bernardo Silva.
There was rumours in the last week saying he'd be open to joining Tottenham, apparently.
I like Bernardo Silva as a player. And you definitely, I think maybe could really be a big help to the squad. He's such a class player. I guess I probably would accept that. I guess, because then it leaves a bit of money for maybe another striker and a centre-back or something. But yeah, that bid is shocking, I think. And I really hope Kane realises that he ain't going anywhere for that kind of money. He needs to, we need to get his correct market value.
Yeah, I completely
agree. I think all this talk from Sammy Mockbell saying now or never and they won't come back next summer is just them trying to fall through the deal.
Cool. We don't care if they come back next summer.
Exactly. Don't come back, yeah. No, but I think that's more to Kane. They're saying, look, Kane ain't coming back next summer. You better force
but, they could easily go in for Erling Haaland next summer.
They could.
But, there's going to be a lot of clubs going for him. A lot. And I got a feeling Erling's probably going to end up at Bayern Munich next summer.
You reckon?
Yeah, I got a feeling. It just makes sense, the heir to Lewandowski's throne, you know what I mean?
According to the Athletic, Spurs remain adamant that Kane is not for sale and that the onus is on City to make an offer or start negotiations. The Athletic reported on Monday there is no active dialogue between the clubs.
I don't get with Man City. Whenever any other player they want, they just stump up the cash. No questions asked. No questions asked. No questions asked. No questions asked. Here you go. You want 50 million for a fullback. You want 50 million for another fullback. You want 60 million for a fullback. Here you go. You want 100 million for Jack Grealish. Oh, here you go. But when it comes to Harry Kane, the best striker in the world, they're trying to lowball it.
They didn't even negotiate for Grealish. They didn't even negotiate. They just stumped up the release clause. Here's 100 million and we're getting him. For Kane, it's like 130, 100 plus add-ons. Oh, fuck off your add-ons, honestly.
Ridiculous.
100 million plus add-ons. Probably if they win 2 Champions Leagues and 3 league titles, then we'll get an extra 20 million. Yeah,
exactly. With Pep's record in the Champions League for City, I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, do one, honestly. Can't stand that offer.
All right, look. I think that's that for today.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you everyone for joining today. The clips will be up very, very soon, and then a Tottenham update coming your way as well today. So thank you everyone for joining today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.
Oh.